rallying cry of protest marches across the world, pushing COVID-19 to the background. In the midst of the swirling controversy, a pastor friend of ours angrily asserted, "Sure, racism exists, but the idea of systemic racism is fake news." He represented conversations being held in hushed tones in predominantly white churches across America. Racism exists, of course, but systemic racism is not supported by the facts. Sorry. Such views deeply hurt many Christians, and especially Christians of color who felt ignored. Again, what all three quotes have in common are not only powerful emotions, but deep divisions among Jesus followers. This division wasn't started by calls for impeachment, a pandemic, or Black Lives Matter protests. Cracks in our unity were already present. These challenging events simply brought them front and center, where they can no longer be ignored. The truth is that any attempts to follow Jesus often lead sincere Christians in different and seemingly incompatible directions. Can you relate? While your disagreement with a person sitting in the pew in front of you, or a Christian colleague at an organization or school, may not concern something as dramatic as impeaching a president or defunding the police, we all know what it's like to be angry and disappointed with the convictions of a fellow believer. By the time you read this introduction, there may be something new dominating the headlines and pulling Christians apart. The question is, what can be done? The only thing more difficult than discussing Christian convictions in the public square is discussing them with fellow believers in the church. This may seem counterintuitive, but it is true. We may have more disagreements with non-believers, but our disagreements with fellow believers are more problematic and more emotionally charged. Outside the Christian community, one anticipates having biblical convictions contested or despised. Disagreement is unpleasant, but expected. We know our beliefs about Christ and morality are not broadly shared in the American public square. Therefore, we expect conflict and are equipped for it, or at the very least, know we should be. But when our personal convictions are contested by fellow church members, everything changes. We feel attacked from behind. It feels both unexpected and wrong. We assume our biblical convictions will be shared by those sitting on either side of us in church. If they doubt or deny our convictions, we don't experience it as a mere difference of opinion, but rather as a violation of an unspoken agreement. We are not merely intellectually challenged by a new idea or puzzled by a different viewpoint. We are hurt and offended. This offense is not unique to the American church. As we've traveled internationally, we've heard the same concerns coming from church leaders in Canada, Indonesia, Kenya, Uganda, Korea, Lithuania, Russia, China, Romania, and England. It seems the challenges to Christian unity are experienced worldwide, and this isn't merely a modern struggle fueled by social media. Paul tells believers at Corinth that they've been called to be holy together with all those everywhere who call on the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 2. Yet 9 verses later, he writes that he has learned there are quarrels among you. Chapter 1, verse 11. Why is this? We believe one of the main causes of discord is how we think about our convictions. Consider these 3 commonly held beliefs. 1. Strongly held convictions lead to uncivil discourse. The reason we fight with each other and often believe the worst about each other is that we form convictions about things for which we care deeply. Unfortunately, we all care deeply about different things. And even when we care about the same things, we often see these things differently and therefore commit to different courses of action. If we are going to live together, we will need to moderate our convictions. We need to learn to say, whatever, more, and thus saith the Lord, less. 2. Convictions are about moral absolutes. Simply put, as we walk through life, we encounter 2 types of issues.